In Lower Manhattan today, the former fixer of former President Donald Trump, Michael Cohen, testified to the grand jury in the Trump hush money probe dealing with former porn actress Stormy Daniels. Well, he and his lawyer, Lanny Davis, spoke very briefly outside of court today. Let's listen.
Tell the truth. My goal is to allow Alvin, Bragg, and his team to do what they need to do. I'm just here to answer the questions.
What do you think the result of your testimony today, what will be the result? Can you imagine Mr. Trump being arrested? Is that what you want?
No, again, you've heard me say this many times. My goal, this is not revenge, right? What this is about accountability. I don't want to see anyone, including Donald Trump, indicted, prosecuted, convicted, incarcerated, simply because I fundamentally disagree with them. This is all about accountability. He needs to be held accountable for his dirty deeds.
So let me be very clear. There are lots of labels, lots of political attacks, lots of rants on social media. There's only one word that Michael Cohen has always told me he wants from the very beginning that I started with him to this very moment. The word is truth, and I'll back it up by my own word, facts. Anytime you hear labels about Michael, attacks on Michael, just remember, we have the facts proven and documented on our side, and that's the truth.
Do you think Mr. Trump will be indicted?
Okay, so very brief comments there. We didn't catch that question, that very last question, to Cohen and his lawyer, Lanny Davis. Do you think Trump will be indicted? And that is really the question of the hour, even as Trump is speaking live in Davenport, Iowa, on the campaign trail. In the meantime, though, we're going to talk about this particular case. I want to be joined right now by legal analyst and expert and friend of the program, Andrew Lieb, who you and I, Andrew, have talked about this story, but now Michael Cohen, he did appear before this grand jury today. He testified. He took their questions. But I want to get your thoughts on this. This is something I just kind of picked up, and it's good reporting, but it almost seems like every week there is some headline, either in the New York Times or the Washington Post, that sources to those reporters say a Trump indictment is likely, is ever so near. We keep getting that. And so there, Michael Cohen testifying. Do you think that is nigh?
I think that he's going to have a big problem. I think that Alvin, Bragg dissembled his team, his dream team before, when they were going after a RICO charge. And he didn't seem like he wanted to go after Donald Trump. But now, Michael Cohen testified today. We think he's going to be back there on Wednesday to give more testimony. They purportedly invited Donald Trump himself to testify. It's looking like they're going forward with this falsifying a business record thing with the payout of Stormy Daniels and paying through their attorney, Michael Cohen. Michael's intimately involved. Donald Trump has problems tonight in New York City.
All right, I want to read the statement in from Trump's attorney because Trump was offered to testify in this. He's refusing. The statement from the lawyer, Susan Nichelle, says, quote, "For 5 years, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office has investigated every facet of former President Trump's life. Unable to find criminality in any aspect of his finances, the Manhattan DA now threatens to indict former President Trump for payments made to Stormy Daniels 7 years ago. For the DA's office to charge former President Trump, a victim of extortion, with a crime because his then lawyer Michael Cohen, a convicted liar, paid the extortionist would be unprecedented and outrageous selective prosecution." So you're seeing the Trump team really go after the credibility of Cohen, aren't you?
You absolutely are. And Cohen has a credibility problem, but that statement had a falsity in it, and we have to put it out there. The fact that the last 5 years that they investigated and they didn't charge doesn't mean they didn't find anything. All it means is they didn't find something that they wanted to bring a charge on. You see, to indict a former president, you have to have it locked and loaded. You can't just go and take a case that's maybe against you or I. You have to have it sealed, and that's the way they have to go after it. And I have to point out to this. I'd be willing to bet everything I have that if they were going to indict, they're not relying on Michael Cohen's word alone. Weisselberg, let's remember Weisselberg. He has a deal that he had to tell the truth. I know he's in jail. There's other people there. There's other evidence there. And the money trail doesn't lie. This isn't going to be a Michael Cohen versus Trump show. It's going to be a lot of evidence if Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA, goes after him.
Okay, Michael, or excuse me, Andrew, I'm going to ask you a question I've asked you when talking about this story before, and that is why Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels and the hush payment yet again? It seems like maybe people, are sleeping under a rock from 2018 to 2019, but why is that back in the news? Why is Bragg going after that specifically? I thought that case was closed and shut. Cohen went to jail.
Well, let's talk about what happened first, because I think that that's what everyone's missing. It's not that Trump was extorted and that he is paying off someone that was extorting him. That's not what they're going after. Instead, what they're going after is how he made the payment. Have you ever paid anyone by paying your attorney a legal fee, not a fee in a settlement, a legal fee, actually grossing up that legal fee so it'd be enough so that he could pay taxes on it, and then having your lawyer pay out of the attorney's account the money? The way he did it smells so terribly that it won't go away. And why won't it get away? Because no ordinary person sitting at the table would say, hey, I'm going to pay double so I can clean it and no one could see me paying it and pay it through my lawyer. It just makes no sense. And you see, the fact of the matter is that this record-keeping stuff with Weisselberg came out recently. The New York AG is going after all their books and records as well. So I think it's all together. It's connected. It's never actually died because no one's been able to answer that question. Why did he pay his attorney double so the attorney could pay him himself as opposed to making the payment if it was an extortion? I don't have the answer to that.
Okay, and Andrew, just lastly, because this would be historic, precedent-setting, it hasn't happened before, a former president getting indicted, what's the fallout from that? What would that do to the country? You said us, well, we can include the legal questions, but he is currently, as we speak, on the campaign stump in Iowa, speaking to his supporters. He wants to be president again. You kind of can't even, fathom or game out what those consequences might be, can you?
Well, I would argue that he might actually get elected from it. Donald Trump is so good, so good. Donald Trump, the Donald, is so good at working the media and negative information. He's going to make Alvin, Bragg, New York, liberals, Michael Cohen, into the biggest clown show you ever saw. He's great at name calling. I'm surprised we don't have a name for Alvin Bragg. Donald, you're slouching on us. We want a name for Alvin Bragg, a nickname. And you see, the thing of it is Donald Trump's going to run on being the victim. That's his best sales pitch. So I see this playing out as really helping Donald Trump in running for election because a good swath of the country believes that Donald is the only thing in between the government and them. And this just reasserts that theory.
Okay, I want to jump ahead of ourselves if I could, and just this is hypothetical, obviously, but say there was an indictment. They would really have to have, yes, everything in store, locked tight for an indictment, but a conviction as well. If they were to bring this, do you think they could get that conviction? Are you confident in that?
I'm not confident they could bring the indictment. I'm confident that they're going forward in an orderly way that's smelling of an indictment. Why ask them to testify if you're not going to have an indictment? That's what the tea leaves say. But here's the big issue with getting the indictment. You see, falsifying a business record is just a misdemeanor. You're not going to charge Donald Trump with a misdemeanor. You need that F word, the felony. You need a felony. And in order to get a felony, we have to have another crime. In New York, falsifying a business record plus another misdemeanor, any misdemeanor, jumps it to a felony. And we're unsure what that other felony is going to be. It could be about the election law, about promoting in a conspiracy to prevent or to promote an election. It could be campaign finance law. But until we know what that second charge is, how to evaluate the case is really impossible.
Okay. And you're alleging because that could be under seal as we speak. We just don't know. Andrew Lieb, as always, we appreciate your insight into these really Trump, New York City legal matters as we are really full-throated into the 2024 cycle. Thanks so much, Andrew. Talk again.
Thank you so much.